Welcome, Raider fans, to the Raider Nation podcast. This is your podcast host, Raider Greg. Welcome to our number 10th show. I'd like to thank all of you for tuning in. Good evening, Raider fans. Raider Greg here, giving you the up-to-date, up-to-most, up-to-the-minute news on the Raiders, on the Raider Nation podcast. How is everyone this evening? I'd like to thank everyone who's emailed me. I'm trying to get back to everybody as soon as I can. I've got a lot of emails, and you're just sending me your support, and I'm loving it. Thank you once again for tuning into the show. Props out to all those who are overseas and who have the podcast. All you Raider fans in the armed services, I want to thank you all for listening, and thank you all for fighting for our country. Okay, Raider fans, we got some things on the show tonight. Let's see. Shouts out to RaidersRadio.net, and Stoner Dude is the man in charge there. You can listen to his show on that particular internet site on Thursdays. They actually do a broadcast Thursdays from 8 to 10, I believe that's the time. But drop in there and check out their site. It's really cool. There's some very, very smart guys on that show, and they have some great news, and it's a great show to listen to, so I recommend it highly. Okay, what do we have going on here? Remember this season, Raider fans, we still have the Pepsi Most Valuable Griller contest, so all those of you who haven't been thinking about it, it's time to warm it up. Now that you're out there camping and looking for camping gear, remember, you got tailgates to do, and I know you Raider fans that do the tailgates are all dialed in because you guys are awesome. You can see everybody's already loaded up and looking awesome on the way to the Coliseum when you're driving down the highway and you see the cars with the flags and people all silver and blacked out. It's a beautiful thing to see. Okay. Along with other events, to see the rally I was talking about will probably be in Oakland, not in Napa. That's my fault. I should have read that more carefully. My wife pointed that out to me. What else is happening? Oh, the most valuable guest cart. You know where that guy runs across the field and he gets the ball from the UPS guy at the game? All of you who go to the game know exactly what I'm talking about. That little UPS looking cart. Well, guess what? It's fully been pimped. Yes, it's been pimped out to look like a Raidermobile. Yes, like those fine automobiles up there in front there by the handicap section. They are bad to the bone. The Camaros and the Novas. There's some nice looking cars and motorcycles at the games. If you have a chance to go to the games and see those, check out the stadium. There's some beautiful pieces of art out there, and I'm sure that any fan that's gone has seen them. And those who haven't gone better go and check them out. Okay, Raiders have signed Omar Easy. He's formerly a Kansas City Chiefs special teams player. He's a fullback. He's rated as a fullback. He's a 27-year-old kid. He's played 3 seasons with Kansas City, like I said, primarily on special teams. You know, he's not a star, but he could be a diamond in the rough. Someone else the Raiders want to look at since we lost we lost that fullback. We've needed to replace that guy, and so we've signed him, and hopefully he'll turn out in training camp and do something. Okay, the stories tonight are Collins is pumped up for this season. Let's see, 10 years ago, on the 23rd of June, the Raider Nation arrived at the Oakland Coliseum. That's right, the Raiders came back 10 years ago. Okay, the other story is L.A. is not losing any sleep over the Raiders leaving. And neither am I, because I'm glad they left. But they're not losing any sleep over any professional football franchise, and we'll talk a little about that as well. Okay, props up to my brother-in-law Al from Dynamic Nation. Al, you are awesome, and, well, you are awesome. That's all I need to say about you, because You set up my site. You did a great job. You do an excellent job in maintaining it. And that would be from Dynamic Nation. Those are the people and the folks that are taking care of the site and the podcast. Thanks to you. Alrighty, 10 years ago, June 21st, 1995. It was a buzz. It was a rumor. It was in the paper. It was on ESPN. Will they? Could they? No. The Raiders go back to Oakland? How could they possibly? They'll never leave Los Angeles. Look at the market there. They got no other teams. The Rams left, and the Raiders are the only ones there. There's no way they're going to move back to Oakland, having the entire city. That's what the Bay Area was saying. I wouldn't say Bay Area. I would say primarily the San Francisco area newspapers were fully shouting down, the thumbs down to the Raiders coming back to the franchise area. Of course, they wanted to keep the fans up and, hopefully get some Raider fans to switch over to the red and gold. I don't think so. Not me, not you, not any other Raider fan that I've ever known. Might as well just stab me right through the eyeball with a hot lead. Anyways, the whole thing was with the Raiders coming back, there was a whole lot of speculation that they were and then they weren't. And really, up until the time that Al Davis toured the Coliseum before the bonds were sold for the remodel, nobody was really sure. Even Ellie Lou Harris, the mayor of Oakland at the time, he was very positive about it, but behind closed doors, he was definitely not saying for sure anything. No one knew for sure, even though Al signed a piece of paper that it was faxed to the Coliseum owner or the Coliseum manager, and everybody was all up in arms. They thought he was coming, but even the fans, even as a fan, you just weren't sure if he was going to do that or not, because if the fans were blown away that he left in the first place. So having him come back was a real surprise. And like I said, on June 23rd, 1995, the city was jubilant. Everybody was silver and black and up. The Oakland Raiders were back at home where they needed to be and where they still need to remain. Now, when Oakland left Los Angeles, you would have thought that L.A. would have been fiercely up in arms and fighting this all the way. Los Angeles barely hiccuped when Oakland left. Barely. And now that it's been 10 years, they don't even care. Now, I will say to all the brothers and sisters down in Los Angeles, this has nothing to do with your enthusiasm about the team. It has nothing to do with you being pumped about the team. It has everything to do with just the people who really, truly aren't fans. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, I like the Raiders. Did you watch the game last night? No, I played pinochle with my brother-in-law. What? That's the kind of fan I'm talking about. The wishy-washy, doesn't go to the games unless they're in the championship kind of fan. Just like here, you can guarantee 35, 40,000 people every single game, because those are the true fans in this league, right here in this area. And the reason not more people aren't coming is because of the ticket prices. Hello, is anybody listening? Hello. Yes, it's the ticket prices. Okay? Used to be able to buy a seat here anywhere for $40. And up there on the high third deck for $15 and $25. Well, that's over, as you all know. And that's why they can't sell them. So, the whole idea about the Raiders not being popular enough, they can't draw, is horse pucky. So, because it was the same way in Los Angeles. And the funny thing is, and I look at this article and I'm reading it, and I see they compare the statistics of the Coliseum in L.A., and the population that used to go there, how many tickets were sold. And you know what? In Los Angeles, which blows the Oakland Bay Area away as far as density and population, there. I mean, how many people can get to L.A., could get to the Coliseum? A lot more than can get through to Oakland. Let me tell you that. L.A.'s market is rich with Raider fans, and they still only sold 30 to 40,000 seats unless it was a playoff season. Unless they were 12-5, it was exactly the same way as it is here. So I don't know who came up with the 68,000 person number is all I want to know. Who the heck came up with that number? That's ridiculous. You cannot sell those tickets unless you discount them severely. Then you're going to get money for them. And if they're not listening, they should be listening to me right now. There are people out there that need tickets. There are good fans that would pay a decent price for tickets and fill those seats up, Oakland Raiders. You got to give people a break, handicap, whatever. Hey, the 66th Street Mob has a great idea. Their PSL, what do they have going on there? It's a charter. It's amazing what it was written. It's a petition. What a geek. It's a petition. And it's beautiful. It's well written. I've told you guys on other shows how to get to it, and I'll do that again on future shows. And I've talked about this many times. Anyways, long story short, Forbes magazine said that it was a blunder for Al Davis to leave off Los Angeles because they had a soul market for I don't know how many millions of people, because there's more now than there was then, and blah, 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 blah. It was a market blunder, he says. Forbes. Well, you know what? I think it was the best thing that ever happened, quite honest. Because as a Raider fan, they're home where they should be. And all the Raider fans here know that they're home where they should be. Okay, Raider fans. Now, Kerry Collins was in the press again just yesterday. He's pumped up for this season. Now, let's go figure. We've been talking about it. I'm sure all you Raider fans have been talking about Kerry Collins and, his inconsistency. Every fan I ever talked to, it's, well, the interceptions killed us. These last 7 games, he was awesome. He was awesome. But those interceptions, they raised their ugly head, and, I believe in Collins. I believe he could do it. I really do. I think he's got the character and the class to do it. I think when I saw him waving the crowd on while they were booing him during the game when he came out after throwing an interception, and he came back and won that game. I think that shows champion myself. Look, he's got Moss, Porter, Curry, Gabriel. I mean, he's happy. Of course he's happy. Look who he has to throw to. This is the second year he has in the system, and this system is going to work for him because it's a long ball system. Also, you have to look at Norv Turner when he was offensive coordinator for the Cowboys. He had Emmitt Smith. He had a big offensive line. The Cowboys were big. And he now has the same makeup on the offensive line here as he did over there. And we have our LaMont Jordan, which is incidentally 4.9 yards per carry. We have a line that's 2 years, 3 years max as far as on-the-line experience, but they're young guys, which means this is their prime. Raider fans, you getting excited? You bet. You should be, because I am, and you should be. Because if you're not looking at what's happening here. I don't give a rat's ass what they're saying in Vegas or what they're saying at the San Francisco Chronicle. The Oakland Raiders are going to do good. They're going to do at least 500 this year. I expect a little better than 500 myself. And so should Al Davis. And so should all of you. Because Kerry Collins had a 56.3% passing rating. His 20 interceptions tie the most in the NFL. But he's talking here in this article about how he's improving himself. Okay, listen to what he says. He says he's concentrating on third down conversions and red zone. Well, you know what? Guess what? You were all there, Raider fans, last year. When we were in the red zone, we sucked. We sucked because we had no running game. So it was all about watching where he was throwing the ball. Kerry Collins, we know you got to throw the balls to throw it. That was the problem last season. We will not have that problem this season. We will be running the ball down their throats. And he sees that. And I know he's supposed to be the positive guy. He's not going to come out and say, oh, we suck, or we this, or we that. Hey, he's coming out and he's telling the fans, he's telling you and he's telling me that he's ready to play football and he's pumped about the season. He's not quiet. He's not staying in his camp and not saying anything. And he's coming out big and he's saying it. He wants people to know he's a leader of the team. This is his second year, full year. And he believes that his offense can do it. And the other thing he said here is that he believes his defense can do it. He believes with the new defense, with the new draft people that they have, they drafted some good linebackers. They drafted well. Fabian Washington should be a good kid. If he can, if he can connect that lightning speed of his, best at the combine, to skills, I think we got somebody who could be insanely awesome. But how many times have we said that before, Raider fans? Many, many times. Many times! Defense, 27.6 points per game. Yes, we've given 27.6 points per game last year. We have nowhere to go, Raider fans, but up. Because Rob Ryan's on the hot seat. Kerry Collins knows that. He knows the defense is sick of being the scapegoat for losing, the Oakland Raiders losing, and it's not going to happen again because I guarantee you that Al Davis has talked to Rob Ryan. Anyway, Raider fans, I want to thank you once again for tuning in to the podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a pleasure to be here or there or wherever it might be. And from beautiful Northern California, socked in with fog and freezing cold right now. That's what it's like around here in Northern California. I bid you a healthy Raider good evening. And just remember, no matter where you are, wherever territory you're in, whatever country you happen to be in, you better just slap on your silver and black, because let me tell you right now, we're coming back. Good night, everyone.